This next one's for drivers. You know all about those pockmarked roads filled with potholes, the bone-jarring experience of being behind the wheel. Well, tonight there's a new list of the worst of the worst. Shauna Hunt's live at number 1. Shauna.
And hey, Gord, the winner is Dufferin Street. And I just want to show you, here's a look at why it held on to the top spot for a third straight year. You can see the pavement, it's uneven, there's dips, there's bumps, there's cracks in the road. And you know what, it's a really rough ride for several kilometers along this stretch. But today the city says it finally has a plan in place to smooth out Ontario's worst road.
It's like a roller coaster. You're going in potholes everywhere. It's really disgusting and outrageous.
It's a three-peat for Dufferin Street for being voted the worst road in Ontario. And if you've ever driven it, you'll understand why.
Yeah, it's pretty bumpy. And coming on the Dufferin, it's a bit of a shock to the system. It certainly wakes you up at 6 a.m. in the morning.
In all, 7 streets in Toronto made the CAA's top 10 list. Aside from Dufferin, there's Kipling, Finch, Bayview, Markham, Lawrence, and Wilson. It appears road conditions are ticking off drivers more than ever. The CAA says there was a 31% increase in the number of votes for the worst roads this year. And the two biggest complaints are potholes and crumbling pavement, like you can see right here on Dufferin, just south of the 401. How big do cracks like this start?
Just a small little cracks. They could be millimeters.
Okay.
And then they gradually grow with the water.
The last time Dufferin was resurfaced was back in the 1980s. Major work that needs to be redone about every 20 years. Jeff Wilkinson with the Ontario Road Builders Association tells me there are sections in dire straits. If damage like this was left another year or two, what would happen?
It's just going to get worse. So you'll see that 3 or 4 inches is just going to turn into 5 or 6 inches, and eventually you're not going to be able to drive on it.
The city tells me that Dufferin has been on their radar for years now and is finally getting a much-needed facelift. Resurfacing has already begun between Peel Avenue and Dundas. In 2015, Eglinton to the 401 will be tackled. In 2016, resurfacing will happen between the 401 and Wilson, and then in 2017, Bloor to Dundas. But for some who drive this route every day, feel that this should have been dealt with years ago.
You know, in the mayoral race, they keep talking about infrastructure and talking about what they're going to do for transportation. They don't really seem to maintain the roads to a very good standard at all.
Now, this summer alone, the city is spending $215 million on road work, and just about every street on the worst roads list will see some kind of maintenance. For a look at a map of summer construction and also a look at the worst roads in Ontario, head to citynews.ca. Live on Dufferin, I'm Shauna Hunt, City News.